Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for Bramble Fox. For this layout I'm going to be using the October Fox Box Plus, and that includes this fabulous stencil which is number 107. For this layout I'm going to concentrate on the stencil and the lovely leaves title. The paper at the background there, initially I'm using as inspiration, but I do change my mind. So you've just seen me there apply some post-it notes to the back of the stencil. That is because I don't want to use both leaves. I'm going to concentrate on the oak leaf shape. So using some distress oxides that I've got there on the left and a different brush for each colour, I'm going to stencil straight onto this A4 white cardstock. It's a plain cardstock, quite a thick one, but I'm just going to stencil with these colours. So each leaf I want to use at least 2 or 3 colours. I want to fill the whole sheet. I don't want them to touch particularly, so I'm going to each one is going to be slightly different as I stencil it. I start off with the stencil in one direction, then I'm going to clean it off, I'm going to turn it around so the leaves are in different directions. It takes me a little while to do this, and then I decide I'm going to bring in a little bit of pink as well. Pinks and yellows and oranges go really, really well together. And I'd got an idea of some paper that I wanted to use with it. I've got the photo there on the right as well that you can see, and it's of my grand pup in some leaves a couple of autumns ago. So it was absolutely perfect to use with the lovely leaves perspective and with this stencil as well. And you can see when I bring the pink in there, it makes a real difference on the stencil, so it makes a much warmer colour. So I'm going to use a combination of all those colours. What you will notice, I'm also dabbing off the brush onto a piece of scrap paper before I actually touch the cardstock. That's because I want these stencils to be nice and soft. Don't want any harsh lines from the brush because it says the background. So I'm now going to add some of the acorns. So I'm masked off the leaf now, and I'm coming in and I'm going to use 2 or 3 colours. So I want the acorns to be quite pinky, and the cases they're sitting in to be a bit more brownish. So I've brought in a darker brown and just lightly added that. So I've finished the stenciling off camera, and I've brought in some paper, and this is from a previous Hip Kit club, and I think it was called Sweater Weather. It's maybe a year or 2 old, but I've also got some scraps of paper there in pinks and yellows and oranges because I'm going to map my photograph as well. I don't want to cover up too much of the stenciling, so I've torn one side of the patterned paper, and I'm actually going to tear it on the other side, so it creates like a column. I don't know if you subscribe to the Fox Box on Fox Box Plus at bramblefox.co.uk, but I really would recommend you check it out. Every month you get new perspectives, paper snips and a stencil in the Fox Box Plus, all on a theme or all connected. And there's lots of inspiration both on YouTube and on the Fox Box Friends group and IG on how to use them. So I do recommend you check this out. So this is the October Fox Box Plus that I've got here. So I've torn the strip on the right hand side. I'm thinking of adding some tags in either above and below my photo as well. So I'm just looking at some of the scraps that I've got there that might work. And I bring in a Simple Stories tag from a different collection just to use as a template. And I'm using that, and I'm adding some top and bottom. And I'm liking the way those colours are all going together at this stage, and I'm promptly going to add a few more layers under the photo, and I'm looking at adding some flowers around the title as well. Don't want to add too much because of all that beautiful stenciling that I did earlier on. It's always a shame when you go and you cover up your mixed media, but using a stencil is so easy, and it is a piece of cardstock, and I wasn't doing it any harm, and if I didn't like what I'd done, I could have flipped it over and I could have tried again on the other side. So do think about having a go with the stencils and some inks. The brushes really do give a nice soft feel as well. I brought in a piece of, this is basic grey paper, this is old and it's from my stash, just to add a stripe of pink down on the right hand side. I think just to bring out all the pink shades that I am using along with this, the yellows and the autumn colours. So I'm just starting to add some sticky tape now behind all the layers. I do like a few layers, and I'm actually going to start to stick some of this together because I'm liking the way that it's looking. So it's time for me to start to commit and get a bit more of this stuck down. There's a little gold wreath there. I'm going to cut that up and I'm going to use it a bit above and below just to add some continuity. I decide that I want to put the lovely leaves perspective onto some pink background paper there just to help lift it up and make it pop a little bit more. So I'll add a little bit of wet glue to the back of that and just weigh it down and get it to stick, and then I will cut round it off camera with a small pair of scissors, just so it makes it easier and makes the word pop when it's on the photograph. So just some final bits and pieces there, a little bit of tape. Always takes me a little bit of time if you've watched my videos before to get everything stuck down, but I'm really liking the vertical lines that it's created, and the tags behind add a bit more colour but with just a little bit of interest, and I think that's all that it really needs. I'm keeping it quite flat because I'm going to lift up the perspective when I add that on. Do check out the videos made by my colleagues here at Bramble Fox. There's lots of inspiration on YouTube and Bramble Fox Friends and on IG as well. So if you want to see what can be made with the Fox boxes, I really recommend you check out those sites and have a look of what the design team have made. Lots of inspiration there for you. So I'm literally finishing off. I brought in a punch. I'm just going to turn these, make the tags look a little bit more like tags, and just add a little ring around each of those holes. I can't think. Are they reinforcers? I think that's what they're called in the stationery world. Just to add a few more shades of pink and yellow too. Really happy with the way that the leaves are looking. From various different papers, they are various different collections, but just adding a few just to tie in with all the stenciling that I've done in the background. I brought in a couple of bolder colours there with the leaves as well, and they'll bring your eye back in towards the photograph. I absolutely love this photograph of my grandpup. He's very well behaved. He does love being walked, and he's quite happy to pose for a photograph. And if you've got a treat in your pocket, even better. But generally, he's a good boy and he's happy to be the grandpup of a scrapbooker. So I'm just going to finish off with a few bits and pieces here. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. If you've got any comments or questions, just add them below and I'll come back to you, particularly if it's any questions about stenciling. I'm not the best mixed media artist in the team, that definitely is our Julie Taylor, but if you've got any questions on how to do this or what colours I've used, I'll list some of them below. The pink was Worn Lipstick by Distress Oxide, but the others I just picked them to go with the paper. So just at the very end, I decided to add a few enamel dots around the clusters, and that's the finished layout. Thank you so much for watching. It's much appreciated, and I hope to see you here again real soon. This is Sheena Rowlands for Bramble Fox, and bye for now.